here.
What's up, everybody? It's your favorite same name, different bot's favorite nerd, and today we are looking at the Master Builder series from Fanshobby, and it's their arch enemy, which is Scourge, I believe, from Car Robots or RID or whatever. I don't really know anything about this character. I mean, obviously I know it's a villain, and I know it's a Black Prime that's kind of, you know, canonized, so to speak. This is on loan to me from a buddy, Mike, and I definitely appreciate he reached out to me. He also reached out to me for some other stuff like MP Primal, and he just hits me up like, hey man, are you going to review this? And he actually is relatively local, so I'm able to just go pick it up and then drop back off to him in person. So that's cool, and I definitely appreciate that, dude. It is, it's kind of you. But let's talk about this fella. So I don't know too much about him. However, just so all cards are on the table, okay? Just so there's not any sort of curtain of deceit or the shroud of the dark side covering all things, let me be honest, I don't care. I appreciate people that try to inform me and stuff, and that's cool. Sometimes I ask for it. Sometimes I'll do like a Marvel Legends review, and I'll be like, hey, I don't know much about this guy. Can you let me know? And people will let me know and like write paragraphs, and that's cool. But then sometimes there's stuff that I just, you know, I'm just going to review the figure. I don't really care too much about the spot or what's going on with it or the canon of RID or whatever the case may be, or Car Robots or whatever it is. So, you know, just if you take time out of your day to write a bunch of paragraphs, I just, you know, it isn't necessarily gonna, you're not gonna get your bang for your buck, maybe. Let's check the comments. Read more? Good grief. 3, 4, 5 paragraphs. This guy's like the Anne Rice of YouTube commenters. And I'm not gonna read this. THX. I should probably write out thanks. I should probably write thank you. 2 words, thank you. But let's talk accessories. He has one sword. It is a tight fit to go into the hand, but if you give it a little bit of elbow grease, you'll get it. And it operates on a Maketoys type slot system, so it has that slot there, and it goes into the back of his hand like so. And then it's just black plastic, and then this red translucent, which does look pretty good, I must say. Like it's an impressive looking sword for sure. So let's talk about this fella. The head is on a hinge swivel. Articulation wise, you get a little bit up, a good amount down, and then you get this swivel. The ears are also on swivel, so you can kind of stylize those to your liking, which I do think is a nice touch. I think all primes should do that. Silver paint inside the helmet, which is done fairly well, and then it looks like red light piping for the eyes, but there's no way for the light to come in on the back. I'm not sure what the point is of that. They should have painted that. That's a fact. So it's decent. The chest in all this area, there's a lot to talk about detailing wise, so just bear with me. So it's a gray plastic here, then we have the turquoise paint. We have this lighter shade of gray and this darker shade of gray. The lighter shade of gray we see painted on a couple places, like over here on the shoulder, and the darker shade we see also on the shoulder and on the abdomen. So there's a lot that went into this finish-wise to kind of present it well, which I do definitely appreciate. This turquoise paint here on the what is this area called? It's like the rib cage, but it's not. It's a little place between the chest and the abs. Doesn't matter. That's where the paint is, and it looks good. Love this turquoise paint. This has like a metallic finish to it. It's beautiful. All right. The shoulders is basically an extended universal joint with an extra hinge. So we have the peg that goes deep inside the chest, so to speak. It's about here. The shadows of the shoulders are blocking you from seeing it, but that's where it is. So that's on a hard ratchet up. Now, with the shoulder pad, you know, which is, you know, it's definitely present, right? In its proper place, you get the arm still, well, if it's straight, to there. But you can manipulate the shoulder pad on a swivel, which allows you to get it even further up to about there. So ultimately, I think that that's no big deal. I think it's actually relatively smart. There's a swivel, a soft ratcheted swivel between this connection and the shoulder, so that gets you the full 360 there. And then there's an additional hinge from the bicep to the shoulder. So to get it all the way up, it's really, you know, it's doable. It's not the prettiest, but I think it's a fairly clever workaround given what this character is supposed to look like. We also have this turquoise paint, and there's 2 different shades of gray, and then this turquoise paint again down here. We'll talk about the other detailings when we're in truck mode. Bicep swivel just above the elbow. The elbow itself is on a single hinge, but it still gets you a little bit past 90 degrees, so I think that's okay. No detailings on the forearms. That is what it is. Wrist swivel. Fingers are on a base pin knuckle, with the index finger being individually articulated with a pin at the second hinge, or the second knuckle of the finger, so you can have like a trigger finger, even though he doesn't have a gun. My guess would be is that's for Prime as well. Let's see. Waist swivel. It's there, but it does get hung up. It's between the bottom of this piece of the truck and that corner of the waist. It's not the biggest deal in the world, but it definitely does rub against it. I think if you don't go the extra mile and just use that little bit of the waist swivel, that's really enough to kind of get the job done. You know, the waist swivel doesn't really exist in real life, so I think most of the time, if you just use that little bit of an angle, you should be fine. Nice turquoise detailings down in the pelvis, so to speak, and that looks good. Ratcheted universals for hips, getting you almost the Van Damme and almost the full Monty on both sides. I think definitely close enough. And as you can see, hard ratchets both ways. And turquoise paint on the ratchet hips. How often do we see paint on the ratchet, like on the hip joints? That's pretty impressive. Some might not notice, but don't think I didn't. Thigh swivel. Look at that turquoise paint on that thigh. We're going to talk about this later on. Sharp as a tack. Really, really, really impressive paint application. Thigh swivel, double jointed knee, getting you a little bit past 90 degrees. We have this turquoise detailing here. We'll talk more about that in truck mode. Nice turquoise paint again on there. And then we have this gold and silver paint inside the calf. Ankle tilt, down a taste, up a taste. The foot is on an additional hinge down. And then you do have a full rocker. So not bad. No swivel. But not bad foot articulation. Back of the figure, I think, cleans up fairly well, given what it is and who it's supposed to look like ultimately. I don't have any real complaints about that. So all in all, you know, it's a pretty nice job. There he is with his predecessor that Mike was kind enough to let me hold for the review purposes, which I do appreciate, and it was interesting because I never really messed with any Transformer toys during this era of Hasbro's production, so to see kind of what they were doing there as opposed to now and vice versa, it was an interesting experience for me. But yeah, I mean, the old one is a pretty well-made toy as well, for what it is. But yeah, I think it's pretty faithful representation. And the gratuitous shot with MP10. And he's bigger. He's a bigger bot. The proportions are a bit different too. It's interesting. Like, I've been feeling a certain kind of way about MP10 recently, and I'll get into that maybe in a discussion video. But ultimately, I think that he'll work for a masterpiece shelf if you were trying to combine G1. I'm not even sure that you would. I'm not sure what the approach would be there, but you know, the villains being a bit bigger than the heroes always kind of seems appropriate. You know, the heroes kind of overcoming that. All right, let's try to transform this. I'm going to be honest with you, I haven't tried it yet. I just, as I've been looking at it, I think I know how it works, but, you know, we'll see how that goes. I did make sure that this is clearance because this looked tight to me. And I'm not sure if I'm doing this 100% right, but his instructions are in a little baggy, and I feel bad asking him to open up his baggie just for me. So I'm going to open this piece here on the back, which will allow me to bring this forward and then tilt the head underneath. And that is, it's definitely doable, but it is a bit snug. And then I'm going to close that back up. We're going to do our favorite thing with the forearms, which is tuck the hands inside of them and pretend like it's new and interesting. And ultimately, I don't care. I think it's a smart way to get around it. It's just, you know, every now and then you see a company do something a little different in that regard, and it does make me happy. Maybe the fists have to be a certain way. Yeah, that'll do it. And we'll do that on this end also. You know, let's talk about this company for a minute. Wow. Actually, we might not have time, but why is this giving me so much grief? Oh, we're going to have to clean that up later. Push these down, the wheel wells. You can do that on both sides. And then much like the original toy, you just kind of tuck these up here. And then bring the front pieces up and over. And that's a little tight also. Not the joint, but getting around the front of the cab. There. And then we'll tab all that together. For the legs, take this piece here and flip it around and cover up the detailings, which is very interesting to me because, you know, they didn't have to do that. So like there's an extra little piece of love from them. Collapse the feet, push these wheels down, and then there's a release button here, which will then allow you to collapse the legs. Oh wait, you know what? Before we do that, let's open up this here. This is really interesting. Take these out and then rotate them around to here. And I dig that. I dig that a lot. So we're gonna take these out. They swivel once, and then they swivel twice, and then this plate piece hinges back. And then this will plug into, try to show you, right there. I don't know, this is, you know, the figure's all black plastic, so it's hard to show you. We'll use that release button. And then this all tabs together, which I will do off camera, and we'll close this door here in the back. So I'll get it cleaned up, we'll take a look at her. And I think that's pretty cool. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Rolls like a champ. On the rubber tires, we got the chrome accents on the wheels, this diamond plating sculpt work, which looks nice. The fuel can with the white paint on top of the silver finish. All that stuff is good. So chrome finish on the exhaust pipes there. We got the lights painted yellow and red, the red tint, which I know is a character thing for him on the windows. All the chrome, or it's like a silver paint actually, on the bumper, and then red paint there, and the turquoise paint comes through on all the wheel wells and everything. Like, it's just, it's well done. It's really well done, and it's relatively easy to get to this point. So I don't have any real complaint. I wonder if I have this 100% right. I think I do, but it looks good. It's a good looking truck. So I don't have any real complaints. Let's take a look at it next to the original. You know, pretty faithful, I'd say. And we'll take a look at it next to, of course, Tiger Tracks. And all this stuff, I think it works out well. Final thoughts. Let's talk about the negatives real quick. The only issue I have, the tabs where there's parts that I really like engineering-wise that come out and swivel down and fold around. They're small tabs, and they have to interlock, and they have to kind of clip around the plastic and the legs, and that makes me a little nervous. I don't see any stress marks. I don't see any sign of breaking. It's just, you know, it just doesn't give you good feels when it actually connects, because it's such a small piece of plastic, honestly. Other than that, the only other issue I have are little clearance issues. Clearance issues with the waist swivel, clearance issues with the shoulder, clearance issues with the head getting into the cab, and that's it. Plenty of positives to boot. The sculpt is good. There's line work, there's some modern updates, and then there's the, you know, the definite nostalgia, I would imagine, for those that are interested in this character. There's the, you know, those iconic elements that make you know who it's supposed to be. The paint is exceptional. It's really, really well done, and the articulation works across the board. An ankle tilt would have been nice, both, you know, a further one down and a nice one up, but outside of that, it's pretty much good to go in that department. There's got to be die cast. I guess the feet are die cast. I don't know, because there's good weight to this fella, and the hardware, all the ratchets and stuff work perfectly. Has a strong presence, looks good, it looks intimidating, it looks menacing, and it cleans up fairly well. I like the alt mode. I think it looks good. I think it looks like a real truck. It has that you know, that long nose, or that you know, that tractor trailer coming, and I think it all translates well. I think it's a really good toy, and this is their first or second release. You know, I don't know. Look, this company intrigues me because both of these figures, this and the Monster Bot, which I'm still undecided as to whether or not I'm buying, but I know it's a good toy, they're awfully good. They're awfully good. And oh, the transformation of this I want to talk about. It's fun. You can flip this back and forth with no problem. You don't have to worry about anything, and it still works in both modes. But real quick, they're well-made toys, which really makes me wonder. I mean, I don't think this company is new. I think we've seen this company before. I'm just not sure where. But you know what kind of, like, I'm hesitant to even say it. But you know what vibe I'm getting from them? Is the Mastermade. Like the super deformed, you know, the Triptychon and Omega Supreme in them. Like, the really tight paintwork, the excessive tampo work done on Repugnus. You know, a fun engineered figure, good materials, good hardware, die cast, etc. Like it's one thing all these toys seem to have in common. All the Master Made and the fact that these are called Master Builder. I don't know, just saying. But between the Master Made and this, what is this called? Fanshobby, is they seem to pull out all the stops. Do you know what I mean? They give you paint. They give you articulation. They give you die cast. They give you hard ratchets. They give you translucent plastics. They give you chrome. It's like they do every trick in the book. And that's why, that's the main reason why they remind me of that company. Now, I'm not saying they are that company. I have no idea. I'm just saying it sets my spidey sense off. Either way, highly recommend you pick this up if you're a fan of the character or a fan of cool transforming robots, or if you want to wait for the Prime because you're a Prime fan or Prime fam, all part of the Prime fam. Either way, if you can justify to yourself any reason for adding this to your collection, I can tell you that it is a well-made thing. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Until next time, take care.